Good morning, five-star agents. Welcome to another episode of the 10,000 Club. It's going to be a great day today. I am joined by my partner in crime, Doug Hale.
Hey, hey.
Doug Hale.
What's happening, lady?
Well, hey, we got lots going on.
Yes, we do. This is a big day, isn't it?
It is a big day. Yeah, just so everybody knows, we've got the Lansing grand opening. We are all thrilled. We would love for you to join us. And we got beautiful weather here in Lansing, so it's going to be grand. Can't wait.
I haven't eaten for a week. I'm ready to eat drink today. This is going to be
Doug
great.
says he's bringing snacks.
I like it. We're ready. We're ready.
So, well, we are here. We are going to talk about showing feedback. Kind of our topic is less is more. And we're going to kind of go through what Doug and I do for feedback when you're showing properties in that, and kind of talk about the relationship you have with other agents and all that. We actually had a great conversation with Joe last week.
That was last week. He's really good. Yeah.
And he talked about how he, newer in the business and everything, and how he kind of built relationships with lenders, but also having good rapport with other agents that he's working with, whether he was on the buyer side, listing side. And I thought he had a lot of great information, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So Doug, what do you think?
Well, you and I align a lot with a lot of our thoughts. And I said, this is what makes this conversation to me really easy, because again, I think you and I do a lot of the same things.
Yeah, we do.
We all believe that feedback is important. So we always tell people, make sure as agents, make sure you're giving that feedback. Okay. Again, your rapport with the agent on the other end of that transaction, again, whether it's going good, whether it's not going good at the start, again, that's up to you to kind of create this experience. So the more feedback you give, the more conversation you have, sometimes the easier that transaction goes. But again, Cindy, you and I know there's a very good chance you're going to run across maybe that agent in the future, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
It's
a small community.
Yeah, it is about building those bridges, and that's an important thing. I had one yesterday, and it was really nice because I picked up the listing and I looked at the listing agent and I said, man, I want to write on that person's listing because I know how smooth that transaction is going to go, and we've already built that rapport. So those are the things I think that are really, really important that we all need to focus on.
Absolutely. Well, and I had a situation, and I had to really guard my tongue. I was showing a property. I had called, made arrangements, and the property showed that it was available. It was one of those show and go, in showing time, you can set it up as a show and go, but I always double check because the market, or offers can come in, while you're requesting it. So I always check after I request it. I always check before I go and show the property.
Absolutely.
And I had called, emailed, and did not get a response. So I called the message the team, because they're on a team, and did not hear back. Well, I was showing it on Saturday. My client absolutely fell in love with the house. And of course, you know how that is, Doug. You and other agents, you guys know, you're out there showing properties and you probably lost 10, 12, or
exactly.
We all go through it, and it's all in how you handle it.
Yep.
But we wrote an offer, a fantastic offer. Sent it, I emailed, let him know we got the offer. I did not hear back from this agent until Monday. And then I did not get a call. I got a text saying, oh, we countered an offer on Friday. Would your client like to be in backup? So I had to pause, and because I was like, okay, it was a holiday weekend.
Watch your tongue, right? Watch your tongue.
Exactly. Because you want to think in real estate, you want to think long-term, not short-term, long-term. And so I messaged the agent and said, hey, first of all, I tried calling, because I think a phone call is, even if that agent made a mistake, a phone call means a lot. You took the time to call, not a text message. And so I called, couldn't get through. messaged the agent back and said, hey, that would have been nice to know before I showed the property. But that would have been nice. So she explained that it was a show and go and showing time and it got missed. So, it happens. So I said, okay, I won't make that mistake again. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, the show and go and showing time, I know we'll cover showing time at another time, but turned out I went out, showed my client another listing. It was part of this team. So
Okay.
so I'm hoping she gets it, but that's what I'm saying. You really, being in an adversary position with those other agents does you no good. When you're dealing with business, you don't want it to be emotional.
Well,
when you're
professional courtesy, as you just said, professional courtesy has to happen. That communication that keeps going. It can create good results, or it can create some of those, like you just said, some of those challenges.
Yeah,
that you're thinking, do we really even need to have this challenge?
exactly. It's not worth it,
No.
because really turned out this house is better than that house. So it really, and clients, if you're honest with them, they understand, just be honest and upfront. But that leads us, we're talking about giving feedback after showings or getting feedback on your listings. So how do you handle that, Doug?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the questions and again, the conversations that we have within 5-star, to me, sometimes are a little bit different because, we want the agent not only to be able to give feedback, give honest feedback,
Sure.
Again, those things that will help our team, basically help our other 5-star agents, sell their properties. Be very candid, be very honest. Don't be brutal, but
it smells.
But at least kind of understand that we're on the same team. So important feedback. What could the seller do that they're not doing? Fresh eyes, those kind of things. That's important. Now, outside of the 5-star family, again, I get feedback requests all the time. I do fill those out every time, 100%. Now, I might not go into as much detail on that form. And I don't know about you, Cindy, but I'll hit on some of the highlights. What I do not spend a lot of time on is price with an agent outside of kind of our world. Let them figure that whole thing out, right? And I've had it happen where they just haven't had the showings they were looking for. They saw that Doug Hale had gone through the house 2 or 3 or 4 times, not written an offer, and when that offer or when that timing came that maybe it was time for that seller to switch agents, boy, that looked good for that guy named Doug Hale to be able to step up and be interviewed for that job. So again, I'm a little tentative as far as price. I certainly am not tentative when it comes time to talk to our agents about that, because we're in the business of helping price homes right.
Exactly. Plus the other thing with showing time is sometimes they have the sellers linked in to that feedback.
Sure do.
And, I don't want to be giving an opinion on price. Again, I don't want to put my client in that position, but also I don't want to be given an opinion on price. I don't represent that client. And that can be a tricky situation. And, but that's why sometimes those showing feedback forms you can kind of customize, because I really don't want price on mine.
No, and I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
I think this is where you and I, maybe we've been just doing this a long time.
I know, God, why haven't we had a deal together?
We need to have a deal together. So, but again, it's one of those things that, that the feedback, how important it is, again, what you do with that. Again, I do believe that there's time to be a little bit more detailed on those forms,
for sure.
Especially within our 5-star family.
Yeah.
But then there's a time to be a little bit limiting in terms of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
I've actually had some agents call me, and not to talk about price, but to let me know, hey, there was a strange smell in the basement. You might want to see if the seller could put something down there, all that. I appreciate that. That helps me. And one of them was there was water in the basement we didn't know about.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a courtesy. And I think building, just like what we're talking about, kind of building those relationships, plus your reputation in the community, being professional, giving feedback. It doesn't have to be, it takes a minute maybe
Yeah.
to give that feedback. And that agent, I try to put myself in that position because I have sellers, they live by feedback.
Yeah.
They want feedback and they'll ask me, and it can be a little precarious position. I don't want to say, hey, agents don't give it or anything like that. I want to be more on the positive side, because I understand when agents get busy and they have things going on.
Yeah.
They have
Well,
a life too.
yeah, your seller's probably going to say, if you don't give feedback or you don't work hard to get feedback, they're going to say, well, why is Doug in the picture? Why is Cindy even there?
Exactly.
Where's the value that you bring to all of this, right?
Exactly. And Doug, sometimes I will pick up the phone and call the agent. Like, let's say it was a unique property and I've only had 4 showings and no feedback.
Yeah.
I'll take the extra step and I'll let my clients know, hey, I sent them, I have a program that sends out that, but sometimes people get busy or, they're on vacation and that, but I did make the phone calls and left messages. Because I think, just like you always say, we're showing our clients value.
Exactly.
And that's the business we're in.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that they realize there is value in utilizing a real estate agent.
And to be vocal about that, to tell your client what you're doing. If you're making that call after that feedback, and maybe it's not the feedback that you're looking for, but yet you went to the next level, made that call.
Yeah.
I know in my little circle around here in West Michigan, it's always kind of fun to make that call after the feedback, especially if I know the other agent on the other end of the transaction, because I can be brutally honest and say, hey, Steve, what'd you really think?
Exactly.
And we're going to have a whole different conversation than what that little feedback request form.
Exactly. And it's like, it's building relationships, whether it's building relationships with those agents, with the lenders, with the, it's all about, having those circle of people. And, next week we have somebody on, that's going to talk about, one of the agents is going to talk about a situation. And it's a really great example of working with the other agent and having the group effort to make it work. And so that'll be a good thing.
You referenced earlier in this call, Joe, last week, and there were some things that really, man, that really stuck out. Some of the things that he said.
Yes, exactly.
And it's kind of some of those things that we should be really thinking about, to say, hey, how can we make sure that we're doing those things? And it was pretty perceptive. Joe hasn't been in the business. Hope you're listening, Joe. Hasn't been in the business a whole long time, but boy, that he's coming from a whole different mature level of being able to, again, do the necessary things, build the necessary relationships, and he's going to sell more real estate. It's just
exactly
going to happen. So
plus, and like I said, those people, those agents that he's dealing with, they're going to know when they get an offer from him, hey, you know what? This was a great experience. He returned my phone calls. He was nice, cordial. He got the documents over on time. He gave me updates from the lender, all that kind of stuff. Those little things mean a lot in real estate.
They go a long way. You're right. Boy, that's good. What else, Cindy? I mean, I think about feedback. Are you in a feedback form? We talk about detail. And again, this is kind of where I want to make sure that what I put on that form is valuable. It's not just taking up space on the feedback form or saying, no, my buyer had no response, or, keeping it short and sweet. I do want to make sure that they understand that we've taken the necessary time to fill that out, kind of not blowing them off. I don't want to say it that way. But,
exactly.
You can feel when somebody doesn't really take
well, I mean, really the best feedback is an offer. I mean, really, that's why I tell sellers, really, and if I can't get feedback, I'm just totally blunt and honest. Look, they're obviously not interested in the house. It's not the buyers we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because if they were, we would have an offer, and that would be our best feedback.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just have to take control and not apologize, but say, hey, this is the steps we did.
Yep.
And again, treat it like a business. And they appreciate that, because again, our clients are looking for guidance from us.
Yep.
And I don't like to be stuttering or trying to make something up. It's not my mojo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and to say the word next, I mean, indicates to your seller you've gone as far as you possibly can go. You've
Yeah.
made necessary steps, and there's just some people, no matter who they are in this business, and you know, they have a reputation too to not filling out those feedback cards.
Yeah.
And
And I mean,
yeah, I mean, you can
you
ask
know.
multiple times and still not get what you're looking for. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And but it's well, and the other thing, when I was telling you about picking up the phone, I showed a property a couple weeks ago, and kind of an odd feeling when I was in there with my clients. In fact, we grabbed a broom, and felt like, maybe we're not the only ones in this house. And so, and there was, it was just, your intuition. So called the agent. As I was getting back in my car, she appreciated it. Turned out it was a plumber there, and the plumber didn't know that there was going to be, so he was like in the, in one of the other rooms with the door shut. I mean, it was so odd, but she appreciated that, because I had other houses to show this client, but I would want somebody to call me. So really, I think I try to put myself in that situation.
Well, and again, maybe I'm old fashioned, but this is where that call goes a long ways.
Yes.
We all know how to text. We all know how to do all with fancy technology and all of that stuff. But there's something about that phone call saying, hey, I texted you earlier and I was looking for some more feedback to be able to give to my seller. A lot of times when you make that personal call, it's no different than a personal note. All of a sudden they know you're going to the next level, making those extra steps. So.
Exactly, because you set yourself apart. Because most people, they do the texting. I try to talk into my text, and I don't know, it comes out all weird. So I probably talk too fast, and I have a squeaky voice. So
just read what you text.
I'm like, oh no, and then I'm afraid, it's going to come over like I don't want it to offend anybody. I don't mean it that way, because I think I probably sound mean on my text. So I can get a better feel for what I'm working with when I can talk and speak and hear the voice of the agent on the other end of the line. But
well, just the big picture, like you just said, and I think we touched on this earlier, to make sure that we're filling those feedback forms out. Do that 100% of the time. Just get into the ritual, into the practice to make sure that you're doing that. Again, you can dictate how little or much you want to share, lots of times depending upon who it is. But yet that's good practice. It sets you apart from other people that don't take the necessary time to do that. And again, it's just good business practice.
Yeah. And with, and don't, it's like I was telling the situation I ran into with writing this offer.
Yeah.
It was a waste of time, quite honestly, but I would never want my client to feel that. And I would never want I had to pause. So sometimes I tell people, just pause, don't answer, just, think about long-term, because in real estate, it's all about long-term.
Yes.
And again, like you said, Doug, and again, I wrote this up, you're going to be dealing with them again.
Yep.
You'll be dealing with them again, and it doesn't do you or your clients any good to be in adversary position like that.
Agreed. We've had that happen. I mean, the business is tough enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so
we need to support each other.
You got it. Absolutely right. So I like our comments. These are all good.
And speaking of support, broker support, if anybody has, runs into that or doesn't know how to handle it, please call us, because we've all, we're all different personalities, but we can help, kind of give you advice on what we would do in that situation too.
Yep, absolutely right. Different perspectives are all good things.
Yeah.
And, I remember the first couple of years I was in business, heck, I didn't know half of what I was doing, right? And so the beauty of broker support, the beauty of our deal doctors, I mean,
Yes.
these are all super important things that we want a lot of engagements from our agents. And we can certainly see, and there's a pattern. You can see that people that take advantage of that, ask the serious questions,
Yeah.
don't do it before you ask. You know, this is all learning. And again, they're getting so good at what they're doing because they're taking the time to learn. So
Yep, absolutely. And when you're a realtor, you're learning something new every day. It's not, no
Oh.
transaction's the same, no interaction is the same. And I kind of, you know, my mom, you kind of have to roll with it. You just have to, you know, like I said, I'll pause because I don't want to speak before I've thought exactly this through. So sometimes that's just good advice.
yeah.
But hey, couple things. Lansing grand opening again,
Yes,
4 to
please.
6. Can't wait. I'll see all my broker support buddies there. We've
be
got the company meeting September 20th at the Pinnacle Center. Sherry Johnson's going to talk about getting more listings, which, hey, that's great. We can all use that.
Yep.
And then Dr. Paul Isley is going to give an economic update, which that's the other thing. We do want to keep up on all that because we do want to be able to communicate with our clients, you know, what's going on out there and
Yep.
keep up on it.
Well, and again, I feel like I've been with 5 Star longer than I've been, but I went to my first meeting last year.
So did I.
Oh my gosh.
That was my first meeting too. I was so nervous. It was
I don't
so
even
great.
think I met you last year. Did I meet you last year? Huh?
You didn't meet me. Oh, yes, you did. Do you
God,
not remember?
I'm just having this
No,
moment.
it was October. Yeah, I went to my first and I was really nervous. Because again, you know, 5 Star offers so much support and everything. I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
And it was a great meeting. I was so glad I went and met a lot of people and learned a lot.
Well, that was my takeaway too. Met a lot of people. If you don't go, guys, you're missing out. You're absolutely missing out. There was so much there and there was so much to offer, and doggone it, you're meeting all kinds of people, all kinds of agents that you wouldn't have met any other way. And again, that's gone, even in this short period of time, that's gone so far for me in the world of real estate.
Yep, for sure.
Now we've had a lot of good face-to-face conversations. So
yep.
Plus the information is off the hook incredible. So all good.
Yep. Well, Doug, I think we're coming to an end.
We are? Okay.
Do you have any last parting
Closing
words?
thoughts other than changing my clothes and going to Lansing?
Yay.
Gosh.
I'm so excited.
I think it's going to be a great day. I think there's a lot of people that, especially in the world of real estate, that can benefit from what we're doing here in the morning, especially around some of these things like feedback. The importance of feedback, the importance of rituals, the importance of what you do. Again, as Greg Carlson loves to talk about, be a student, because this business is ever changing. And again, develop those practices. And this is one of those practices that you just got to be good at this, guys, because there's a whole lot of people out there that are going to, again, want to hear from you and want to have future relationships with you. So again, that's my 2 cents for what it's worth.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally agree, Doug. So everybody at 5 Star, have a wonderful day. Make it a great day. And we hope to see you in Lansing.
Sounds good.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right. Thanks, Cindy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. It was great. It was fun.
We'll see you this afternoon.
Okay. Bye-bye.